I'm hearing the desperation from people on a daily basis around how they genuinely fear their long-distance relationship is suffering and it may not last. Being kept apart by the pandemic is no doubt causing many couples worldwide to finish their relationships as they lose all hope of ever being together. I'm here to tell you that staying strong as a couple during the pandemic is vital to the success of your relationship. And if it's worth fighting for, then in this video, I'm going to tell you how you can keep your relationship strong during this difficult time. So be sure to stay with me here. I assume that because you're watching this video right now, that you want to keep your relationship strong during the pandemic. And perhaps you may be a little worried how things will play out in the months ahead until you can be together with your partner. Well, I congratulate you for taking the first step in looking for more ways to get through this difficult time. And I'm certainly a believer that those of you who get through the pandemic online, then your relationship will be so much stronger as a result. And from there, you'll feel as though you can handle anything that comes your way in the future. When people who care for one another or love each other are kept apart for many months or even a year or more at a time, it becomes a huge battle of the mind in many ways. One never really doubts the love or care you may have for another, but often what goes on in your mind as a result of constant distance from your partner can destroy the relationship if we allow it to. And yes, I did say if you allow it to, because ultimately it's your choice to understand what's going on in your mind can be overcome. And you can stand up right now and say, I will, and we will as a couple get through this because it matters. There's an old saying that goes something like, nothing worthwhile ever comes easy. And many of us can relate and agree with that saying, I'm sure. So why should it be any different in a relationship where we're kept apart? We need to look at it as a challenge that won't defeat us. We need to change our thinking around how we manage this situation we've found ourselves in and draw strength from the tens of thousands and possibly millions of other couples in the same position right now. And of course, more importantly, from our partner. Simply, we can't lose sight of the bigger picture no matter what. I'm sure you guys in such relationships believe in the relationship and your partner. And I'm sure at some point, many of you guys may have seen the possibility of a lifetime of happiness together. If that's the case and you genuinely care for your partner, then aren't they and the relationship worth fighting for? Or are you going to lay down and let the relationship die, only to be wondering for many years after the pandemic is long gone, what could have been? To stay strong as a couple, you need to be on the same page together and have a very similar understanding and mindset around the situation you find yourselves in. And the way to do this is by talking as a couple around how to manage your relationship while you guys are apart. And I assure you, there are many things to discuss so you both have good understanding on how you guys will get through this time together. Start off by acknowledging the situation that you're in and that it sucks right now. But don't be one of those couples that every time you chat with each other, you're always down about not being able to be together, as that will only cause each other to feel down and less secure. Now that doesn't mean that you can never talk about the way you feel, because supporting each other is so very important, especially at this time. But don't be constantly feeling sorry for yourself because you guys can't be together. Try and look to be positive, happy and upbeat when you guys are chatting online together, because happiness will rub off from one to the other and will provide a sense of togetherness and hope for the future. In any relationship, even in the best of times, we need reassurance from our partner that they love us and will always be there for us no matter what. And during the pandemic, when we're apart, this is absolutely crucial. Uncertain times bring about uncertain thoughts and feelings, which can result in the way we act with our partner. We may start to think that our partner is losing interest in us, or we may start to get a little paranoid that our partner may be cheating on us. Have no doubts that distance over a long period of time plays on the mind. We may see that our partner isn't online to chat at a particular time, and may be an hour or so late due to heavy traffic or being delayed in a million other legitimate ways, but our mind can tell us otherwise. It's amazing how creative our mind can be when we become a little paranoid, and that brings into our mind all our greatest fears, which seem to compound by the minute. I can assure you right here that if you allow your mind, fears and paranoia to take over, then your relationship will be destroyed. So you need to think about the trust and love that you have in each other and push out those negative thoughts as they arise, which they certainly will. But no, they are only thoughts and not the truth. And for anyone or couple struggling in some way, I do have a consulting service where you can have access to me via video call to work through any issues that you may have. My link is in the pinned comment and description. Be sure to communicate openly, honestly and transparently with each other at this time, even more so than you would do if living together. I say this because your partner needs to feel as though they're part of your life in some way, almost like they're there with you. A great way to achieve this is to include her into your world when you're at home and even when you're at work if possible, and for her to do the same for you. For instance, if you're cooking dinner, then why not set the camera so she can watch your cooking whilst you're still chatting with her? Or if you get a spare 15 minutes at work, then show her a little of what you do there and even introduce her to a workmate or two. If you're shopping or in a park or even by the river, take your partner with you via video chat and show them around and have them feel connected and not so distant. I remember some years back, well before COVID, doing this exact same thing with my now wife whilst we were in a long distance relationship. And now in these uncertain times, doing such things is even more important. I was walking around my house and downtown, showing her around the place she would ultimately be living in and the town that would become hers. And she would show me where she worked and introduce me to some workmates. So I can assure you that not only was this interesting, it really made us both feel connected and far less apart than we actually were. So be sure to brainstorm as many creative ways to stay positive and connected as possible. A great way to do this is by having a date night once a week, where the two of you get dressed up like you're going out on a date. Each of you can organise food and a drink. You can even get some nice romantic music and each have candles where you're sitting. Open the video camera and enjoy a wonderful evening together, which again will connect you guys even more and you'll feel closer and the relationship will get stronger. There are so many ways that you can include your partner in your life whilst apart that will make them feel as though you do love them and that you have each other's back all of the time. It's normal and expected that you'll miss each other terribly, but don't allow that to become your focus of the relationship and keep building a very strong foundation, and I'll guarantee you that when this pandemic is gone, you, your partner and the relationship will be very well rewarded. To further strengthen your relationship, be sure to check out the card on screen now, and I'll see you in the next video.